Hey, wonderful people. Very good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Today, I decided to do a morning thoughts episode. I'll talk about different stuff that I thought of for last few days and stuff. And these are going to be perhaps related to fragrance related content, but not reviews. I'll talk about few things, like I noticed in community and also, something about my journey. So if you find this content not your cup of tea, you can absolutely skip it. I won't mind. I'll go slow today because I'm not very well. Day before yesterday, I purchased some food. Think that food actually wasn't very good. It was like a whole grilled chicken. Perhaps they gave me an expired one or something. And whole day yesterday, I was like, man, I was tired of going to the loo. Um, like it was like few trips and then I kind of passed out and my body and head everything is just hurting a lot. But then I've been sleeping a lot, so woke up and something made me very happy. That is, this morning it's very cold. Bangladesh winters, if you do not know, it's we don't get that much cold weather. So our country remains like 48 degrees, around that 40s, usually the whole year, and it's very hot and humid in general. We always like stay within the AC. So basically, when you see winter, back in the days in Bangladesh, like 90s, when you're growing up, 80s, 90s, if you do not know, our country used to see very cold weathers like deep fog, and used to go for picnic as children. Like our childhood was very beautiful. We used to have these school picnics, like camping, and then scouts. So we had this very exciting games, a lot of excitement because to live in a campus or quarter, so the surrounding area is a lot of kids, so we used to enjoy with our heavy cardigans and stuff. But nowadays winters are kind of like mild cold weathers, not really much happening. But this year perhaps was okay. So it was mild cold weathers, then it was gone, now it's coming back. Today is 13 degrees, so I was shivering in the rooftop. Still did a video, please do watch that. I'll upload it side by side. So my scent of the morning, let's go one by one. This video may run long, but I'll share a lot of personal sentiments today. All right, so first thing is, scent of the morning is Jubilation 25, one of the special fragrance from House of Amouage, and this is the perfect weather to wear it. Cold weather, this one also works in warmer months, but I really feel that's the best for cold weathers. It's just a stunning beauty, like this, just hard to describe that fragrance. It's like a very uh, complete fragrance. So since I'm not feeling well, just to feel energetic, I'm going with Earl Grey. This is basically Dilma. I don't think everybody would care for it, but the brand is from Sri Lanka, one of the most renowned brands. You'll find it everywhere, even in UK. I think I've seen it. All right. Yeah, so the voice gets a little bit something, some soothing touch. So why I decided to do this video is that I will talk about few things, okay? But mostly I want to talk about fragrance related, my journey and what I noticed, and something about me, and then something about my thoughts towards what's going on. I've been attending some live sessions by some of my friends, Joey, Dan Norton. The thing is, like, there are some changes in fragrance reviewing YouTube platform, and I will just give you what I see from my part. So I'll start with my part. When I started collecting fragrances, like I used to love fragrances all my life. Okay, this is kind of like a storytelling. When I was in school, I used to love body sprays, Axe, and this and that. Basically, those fragrances were all we could afford as like school days. Our parents would buy. Let me just shut the window for a while. So noise gonna come. Yeah, sorry about that pause because my window was partially open. My AC was on because the construction site next to our plot starts very early morning. Now it's around 8, 10 to 8. So the noise will start coming. So I try to minimize. So anyway, I was telling you, like when I started my journey, like I would call it a journey because I think on most part, most guys, like since they're kids, they have this fascination about perfumes, collecting toys or watching movies. You grow up with certain sentiments. So I don't know about everybody, but I had this very big love for fragrances. So of course, as a kid, you could get a gift like Brute or something like Wild Rain from Gillette. That would be a dream perfume. Back in the days, many people, younger kids wouldn't recognize those brands now. But when you go to school, like perhaps we got a fragrance like, I don't know what that was. I forgot. I think Brute. Yeah, Brute had this classic green bottle, tall bottle. That was my go-to guy. Then I went to college, university life. Then Lacoste, Hugo Boss, those brands I used to get like gift like once a year or something like during my birthday. Those are expensive in Malaysia. I did my college and university life, and then masters and PhD. PhD I didn't finish, but those are my lives. 1997, I moved to Malaysia from Bangladesh, and that time, like I used to have CK1 at my first fragrance, Daniel Desire Red. Then I got a gift from my family that was Hugo Boss bottled. So basically, Lacoste Purom. These are my first few fragrances, and then slowly, as you get into working, like environment, like after you finish your degree and everything, I started working for a while. Then I stopped working. Then I started my own business, like food business, food joint, burger joint. You guys know I told it many times. And then I became sort of like a chef. I was a big fan of Jamie Oliver and Gordon Ramsay, but basically Oliver. Jamie Oliver is one of my inspirational mentors on YouTube. Like the love for his food, and then the way he cooks, and how simplified ways he shows. So from that cooking, I had like few things apart from cooking: fragrances, cricket, music, and then the food business that I was running. And then the thing is, I started collecting fragrances seriously after 2014, 2015, I think 2012, sorry, 2012, I was serious about collecting. And then until now, it's about 10 years. So I started reviewing in 2016, and now it's, I can say 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 7 years, right? So it feels like just yesterday, but I'll still tell you, I feel new. Because when I started watching, the first day I started watching, it was Mark, Rope 08. This guy was talking about, I think, Versace Puram Hugo Boss bottled one of these fragrances. I was like, fragrance reviews, what are those? Because I use fragrance. Who would, in the right mind, would review fragrances? And when I started watching what he does, I mean, it's like Jamie Oliver. Then the next guy was Mark, Rope 08. So Mark is basically, I think, about we are the same age, but to me, he became like my hero, found this blind fragrance passion, that I started collecting, like I need to collect. So I went to UK in 2015, Manchester 2012, I went London, I bought few fragrances there, but mostly I started collecting in 2015. And then by 2016, end of the year, we came back to Bangladesh. We were forced to come back because Malaysia economy was taking a hit, and then the job market wasn't good. So it was kind of shocking for us to move back to Bangladesh, because we were not in any plan by any means move back to Bangladesh. Our life was all there, house, car, settlement, everything was there. And it was okay. I mean, at first I was a bit in shock, but then I got used to it over the years, and I learned many things after coming back to Bangladesh. It's been like 2 decades I did not stay here, then now it's been like about 6-7 years. So in the meantime, you would wonder, like, wouldn't it be better for, many people say it would be better for you if you move back to Malaysia, or if you reviewed. There are some good sides and bad sides. Good sides are, Malaysia is such a beautiful country, big country, and not many people around. You can go to places, very beautiful places, like in the public places. There's nice parks, and then amusement areas. You can sit in the mall. Everywhere it's clean. You can walk with bare feet, no problem. And those are some things Malaysia is really renowned for. Their roads are, at times, I feel better than UK. I've been to UK motorway. The roads are so much better in Malaysia, like highways and stuff. With all due respect. But I would say, if I was staying in Malaysia, maybe I wouldn't be able to collect as many fragrances. I wouldn't meet, because Malaysia is not land for people who are like to gather, like who like to socialize. And we had so many friends. Not like that. I used to live mostly by myself. I used to go watch movies alone, eat alone, and I was like basically a loner in a way. And the thing is, only time I would meet up people when you have a program. But when you move back here, the life is so intense here in Bangladesh. If you live here, you'll always be on the edge, in a good way, bad way. But the thing is, I met some great people, and I met some not so great people, but whoever I met taught me something in life. So I collected a lot of fragrances. Then one point, I didn't even ever think about monetization, money. I just watched Mark, Steven, and then one point, my favorite reviewer was Jeremy. I'll just tell you the truth. And I found like Jeremy is the guy who's going to take fragrance to next level, which he did. He used to have, like, from his channel, I used to love his channel. Like, I would buy any fragrance he would promote. I ended up buying, no matter what people said, I ended up buying Amara, And these fragrances, mostly my friends also agree in Bangladesh that they actually work. They get complimented, designer perfumes. And then, he's a good looking guy, his suit, he's brought women, he brought entertainment, he brought kind of like a glamour to fragrance reviewing. And then we had this one side, we had these traditional reviewers who give in-depth knowledge about perfumes you learn, and Jeremy on the other side give you entertainment. In the end of the day, entertainment sort of like, I would say, won over majority of people, because you see, crowd is never the same. 5 6 years back, whoever we had, our community was kind of smaller, and there were very few reviewers. Nowadays we have so many reviewers. I personally, it's a shame for me that I don't know all of them or many of them, because I'm so busy in my own work. I don't have the time to watch many reviewers. But when I randomly like say browse, I find some good content, it feels like good channel and it's honest content, I do watch it. But now the trend has changed a little bit. Now the thing is, it's way ahead of our, like, not ahead, like we are now too outdated. I'm now 40 this year, I'm going to be 41 if I'm here. So I am sort of like the uncle, uncle zone. Many of you are in 30s 40s would feel the same way at times. If you see kids around, they grew up and now it's their time. So for them it's their time to own. But the thing is, no matter what we felt, during the times, the changes, we felt many things were not right. So that time, I'm pretty sure, like, our parents would feel the same way. When we were growing up, our music, they didn't approve. Our way of living or entertainment, they didn't approve. Like clubbing, we would go clubbing, like, at night, late night, like you wouldn't tell, you would just go like, we're going to a friend's place, just like, stay over, but we actually went clubbing in Malaysia. So nowadays, the clubbing is a very old concept. People like, hey, clubbing, you uncles, but the fragrance community sort of like reviewing pattern change in a way that now it's a lot more about a lot of these platforms. At first it used to be like Instagram, now they have a lot of other things, I don't even know what they are. Then this is live, people, reviewers go to live, and more than reviewing, they're doing live sessions. So the thing is, what is right or wrong, I don't want to judge. Everybody is right in their own terms. Reviewers who got huge numbers, they just started maybe 2 years back, but now they are like multiple times bigger than our channels, and we are just stuck at after 7 years 70,000. I would say both of us are successful. If you talk about Demi Rolling, she's successful, Jeremy is successful, I find myself as successful. Any reviewers who have 2,000 subscribers, they should find their channels successful, in my humble opinion, if they actually have done the work. You can only feel proud when you look back and you say, no, I have done some good work in my time. I did contribute to the community in any way possible. I bought fragrance, I discussed it, some people have benefited. So when you look back, your footprints, if you're proud of it, I think you should be very, very happy that you have done some work, you didn't waste just your time. But if you actually thought this line is going to get you money, and that's where your only motivation was, and you didn't feel like having any soul or honesty out there, let's say you got free products and you just like promote, and then you got lucky. Many people get luck. You need luck, man. Talent is not good enough. In Bangladesh, millions of people are talented, but not everybody gets break. Many people are super talented, but who gets the break? Kids of rich people, because they got recommendation. They are way less talented, absolute no talent at times, but they get the job, they get the post. So it does disappoint. So if there's a pattern, I understand why reviewers with small subscriber counts feel offended when someone called them a small-time YouTube reviewer, because this is very sensitive, because they expected, with their hard work, their contribution, people would show them the love. YouTube algorithm would promote their videos and they would get monetization money, and then they could do some more work without. I'm telling you, the fact is fact. If you're not rich by default, you would actually want to make some money out of your work. Otherwise your work is basically waste of time. Do not do anything for free if you're good at it. That's what I feel. So people will feel differently. So what I was telling you, like, let's say ideal example is Demi Rolling. She's making, perhaps recent times Dan mentioned she lost her monetization. There's a big I don't know, discussion over that one. But I have certain sentiments, but different people feel different ways. Some of our people are her big fans. Some of the people do not like her work because they feel she's promoting PDM. There are, people might feel like this is not honest work, so basically it's not appreciated. But see the other side, not everybody can make money. So Jeremy, Demi Rolling, they became successful in terms of money. So I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them, because not everybody can make money. When I became monetized, I started earning some money. I feel very happy. I felt like I can spend, my life is a little bit easier. I can buy better food. I can get some clothing, I can get some watches that I want. So no one can deny this, like money is important. But I feel when you start watching reviews, there was this thing, like I'll tell you how I see it. Back in the days, just example is this: there are some films we watched it over and over and over again. I'm not saying this is the best era. Our era is the best era. Everybody's era is best because yours growing up is special to you, your childhood is special to you, however you grew up, wherever you grew up, foreign countries, your local country. But let's say our time films were like Terminator 2, Predator, and afterwards there are Green Mile. I had a list of 100 something films that I watched. Those are my dream films. My best friend, one of my best friends recommended me those films. Notting Hill, You Have Got Mail. These are Sleepless in Seattle, or Angels, City of Angels. So I can go on all day about films. I love films from that era, and I watched them so many times. I Am Sam. Stop taking names. Okay. uh, the war films, everything. All the films that I watched, I had a hard disk, an external hard disk. I remember every single movie of and every single dialogue so much, and I never got bored. I keep watching them over and over again because they're so great, they're so well made. So such a reviews like Mark, when he reviewed Robe 08, many of the new ones, they don't know who he is, and that's a shame. People should know the history, who started this community, who started this whole fume over perfumes. They gave us a new world. His review on Aqua di Gio, Cool Water, Versace Purom, any of those designers back in the day, Boss Bottled. These are reviews I watched over and over again. Steven, Red Lessons. These are people I'll never ever, even if someday, I went over Mark's subscriber count, and there's one day I went over his total reviews. Now I have about 3,000 videos. People make fun of me. But I always felt I'm still a student in the school. These people are the real OGs. When I attended live session that day, few days back, Joey, hi Joey, how are you doing? Shout out to you, brother, and Joe, both of you. So Joe Anthony, both of you, and also Dan Norton. But these guys are doing this for more than 10, 12, 15 years, and there were times reviewers used to meet up in New York. They used to meet up in like this Creed boutique, and those are the glorious times. Like kind of like they used to call good fellas, good smellers. And there was Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. There was Street Sense, right? Yeah, Al. And there was Mark, Max 40. Man, those guys, when you see, there was a time I told Steven in one of his live sessions that, bro, I really feel you, Jeremy, all you reviewers are like such awesome figures. You should make a film someday. Should be like a superhero. To me, these are superheroes. Even Jeremy, to till date, whatever he does, it's a different story now. I don't watch these contents no more because I feel they got into making money, like whatever makes money, whatever sells, they're doing it. But back in the days, when people talked simply about fragrances with so much passion and love, what fragrance got them what compliments, or what fragrance has memory with, let's say, Mark's ex, not ex, Mark's girlfriend, now his wife. So they used to take a walk in the park, and this is when he used to wear it, and she was like, what you wearing? And then he's like, Boss Bottled. So these stories are stuck in my head. So perhaps we are more sentimental, less technology tech savvy, and I'm okay with it. I don't go live, I don't know many things about editing, nothing. But I figured to be well known or to do something, you have to do your work. So I kept working like blind man, buying fragrances. I want to review everything out there. So fragrances basically which don't have reviews that I love, and I felt they're good enough, or mostly on designer perfumes, these are my love. Then I have love for niche as well, but designers are more affordable and they get more views. That's the fact. Most people can afford only designers and budget fragrances. Not everybody can buy a Creed or an Amouage. So thing is, I wanted to work for everybody, from the cheapest fragrance $2 all the way to $1,000. It doesn't matter, as long as I can smell it and talk about it, it's my pleasure. So that's how I worked. So different people work different ways. So I feel in the end of the day, there is nothing, we shouldn't take this game so seriously or analyze a reviewer or a person so much why Steven is having his personal perfume house, or let's say why Dan Norton or let's say Ashton would have his house. It's good for them. They got the opportunity, they did the hard work, they had the connections, and they made it possible. So they have something in their career, then they can say, this is my product, this is my baby. So if you look at it from their perspective, it doesn't matter if it's a clone house or it's made in Dubai or whatever. They took the initiative, they did something. So fragrance community is so small. I feel rather than overanalyzing what others are doing, or who's doing fake, people can tell if they're fake, they're fake. Don't watch, that's it, unsubscribe. But in general, I think it's a little bit of changed world right now. Fragrance reviews, there's just so much happening, and there's too many flankers nowadays. Back in the days, reviewers would review something that is original, like Daniel's Icon when it came out, brand new release, um, top of my head, that one. But nowadays it's like I'm a little bit bored, to be honest. Everything is a flanker of something, and many of them are just redundant, and they're just fancy bottle, and sometimes they are just same fragrance from three different houses. This is the fact. So it's a commercial world. It's definitely not just passion. This thing, fragrance game, is about business. Companies are making money. If you say, let's say, criticize fragrance house too much, your channel might get taken down. It happened with many reviewers. And sometimes when you want to, if you are under, like, let's say someone reported you, then you get banned in Facebook. Stuff like that happens, and too much political correctness nowadays to ruin the fun of it. If you say something, in your language, you might get banned in Facebook for a few days. So yeah, I mean, it's a good. Some things happen good, some things happen bad, and the worst, to top it off, was the COVID. Like 2019, 19 or 20. Yeah, when it started, 3 years now. Yeah, this thing actually ruined people's mental happiness. People became mentally unwell, and then I went like sick several times. So I was down under, not down. I was down, and now I'm still sick. So it's kind of sickening, but we cannot go out, live the normal life, cannot travel. I wanted to go to India, meet my friends and then fans there, and have some party and stuff, but we cannot do that, big due to this COVID situation. But nowadays, like, not everything is good, not everything is bad. That's what I feel. If those gimmicky lists that people are saying that Ashton is making everyday list, I noticed his work. I told you have to survive, you have to make money. So if you are getting, as a reviewer, getting few hundred, like, let's say few thousand views and stuff, say 80,000 views or 1 million views, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, you are doing your work, nobody's feeding you, right? So in a way, people might feel it's wrong, but he's not hurting anybody. Okay, he's not harming anybody. Let's say Ashton, his work is to entertain people. People are watching, he's happy to be making the videos. So what's wrong with it, right? But at the same time, I really feel reviewers would review a little bit more. Nowadays I see mostly niche fragrance houses, they give products to reviewers. And it's wrong to say that you shouldn't watch it, but the most interest is always in the designers. I notice, we want to see some designer release some of the fragrance which do not have reviews, and perhaps good old times, like, like fragrance like Azaro House. People talked about it, Lacoste House. Nobody talks about this house anymore. That's a little bit sad for me. These are the fragrances that made the fragrance game interesting, that gave you an idea. Nowadays, some reviewers, some people say, hey, I sold off all my designers, and I have only niche designers, all synthetic. It hurts me when people say that. When you grow up with certain things, it's like you're abandoning your own family, right? So these are certain sentiments. It's mine, my music era, my movies era, my growing up, my culture. I feel sometimes, nowadays, a lot of things I see is wrong, but we can't do anything to change the culture, can we? So people, if they're doing something wrong, it's part of their culture. It's meant to happen. But I think perhaps you should do your part. That's the most important thing. Do your part. If you're a reviewer, show that passion. When you hold a product, when you hold like anything that you want to review, let's say you want to review like a brand, like let's say Lipton, and then you talk about the tea, tell them how the texture feels to you and what is the experience. Tell the truth. There's nothing sexier than the truth. Okay, this is my experience, and anything that's lie, in your inside that you lied. And if you stole from someone, if you cheated someone, inside. If no one knows, God and that you have done something wrong. So if you keep things not real, what's going to happen is, yes, you're going to be making some money, you're going to be popular, but after a while, people will forget you slowly. And that's going to be sad, because, you were such a big figure. So bigger figure you are, bigger reviewer you are, your responsibility is so much more. Do not promote a product which is something that you're getting from your sponsors or something, and you just don't disclose it. And you say, this is the best fragrance you get, tomorrow is another fragrance is best fragrance. Maybe you should buy fragrances. Even if you don't buy, you give an honest opinion. I buy my fragrance with my own money. I'm very happy about it. I wish I could get some free stuff, but it's okay. I have done this number of years without monetization. Just it would never stop me. Even if it's gone, I'll continue doing it. If you see a reviewer stop working, if the monetization stops, there's something wrong with that, right? But let's if you feel, the last thing, big video, last thing, if you feel the world is wrong, you don't like the review style, and you feel like trolling, make like an effort, rather than just having popcorn and then sitting back and just be keyboard warrior. why don't you start your channel? This is, honestly speaking, that's what I feel. If I want to see a change, I want to be it. That's how I think things can actually change. It will take time, but it will change. If you feel, hey man, those reviewing styles are just so much gimmicky, they're just selling, why don't you take the fragrance and then be a critic? Bash it all you want. Give people your honest thoughts so people can appreciate it. Positive, negative reviews, they're all welcome. This is how the works. That's how that fragrance review works. So I'm very happy about those 2000s, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16. After that, I think it's now a lot more commercial, but to each his own, right? So keep enjoying whoever you like, keep watching them, keep supporting them, and give them a thumbs up if you like their work. That will help them a lot. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. And thanks for tolerating me for a very long time. See ya. Bye-bye.